Hey you guys, welcome back to another live stream with your host me, WinterTooth100, and today we are on the Resilient server, and we are in our Kakariko village. You can tell we just logged on because everything's still loading in, and I didn't think about that before we started. No point in trying to wait for it to all load in. I need to actually run back to the main base so I can grab some materials, namely gravel. We're going to work on these paths here in Kakariko village today, and possibly this barn, farmer's house, maybe the little strongman shop over there, and if we can get to it, I'd like to start planning out, at the very least, this Temple of Time. The Temple of Time is going to be the funnest bit. I'm excited for that. We're going to have to move this map wall, though. Hopefully we have no problems with this teleport system. I've turned... let's check. Yes, my render distance is totally maxed out, which makes for some laggy teleportation, because you get here and all of a sudden, boom, 32 chunks in all directions are trying to load. But we came here with our shulker boxes because we need gravel. Perfect. I think we have... I think we're gonna, I don't know if we're gonna get quite 2 double chests worth of gravel, but we should get pretty close to 3 of these at least. We'll just pop these down, because yes, no, that's andesite. Still full though. Okay. Now, we're going to use this gravel for, wow, just obliterated. We're going to use this gravel for, making coarse dirt, specifically. Let's see. Yeah, there's no coarse dirt here. And I snagged all this. I should snag this dirt, because we're going to need to mix that with the gravel. Is there anything else here that we're going to need? I'm not sure. Well, we barely got over 3 shulker boxes. And I think that's going to be it for gravel, but we will look in the chests just to be certain. Andesite. So there shouldn't be any gray in the paths. I think it's all going to be natural colors. Nope, that's a waste. We'll just hold on to that. So, what do you guys think? Is there another block that I'm not thinking of that we could use for the path? Perhaps some browns. Maybe? What is it? Sand, gravel, and dye? I don't think we have any cocoa beans. And I was just in the jungle too, thinking, I have cocoa beans, I don't need to worry about that. Maybe we'll go snag a few of those real quick. Fly over to this jungle, just in case we decide we want to use a few of the brown concrete powder. Oh boy, oh boy. I do not like traveling with that max render distance, because nothing wants to load. But we'll definitely turn it back up when we go back to the Kakariko village, because that place is glorious. It is absolutely glorious when you can see all the cool stuff. It does take a moment to load in, though. Alright. Here at the jungle. So, I believe... I want to say it's this jungle. But it's way out in the back. where I demolished this place to get jungle leaves. But yeah, it's way farther than back. I chose to do it way in the back side of it because this front side is connected to our ocean, which is where everyone mutually lives. And there we go, there's some more. And it's mostly just Joe and I. Oh, that reminds me, there is another thing that I do really want to do before we get started on these paths. Totally spaced it. Doesn't help that I just woke up not very long ago. But now that I've remembered, let's see. So that means I'm going to do some extra editing for this video. There's going to be a little bit of a response section here to Joe Mama's last video. So if you guys haven't seen it, I recommend going to check it out after the stream. I'm gonna give a pretty good idea of what his video was about, but in case you're still interested, he actually goes over some fun science with satellites and stuff that even information that I didn't know, and I'm a pretty smart bear. But he's doing this thing, the lag, called geocaching, and he's trying to apply it to Minecraft. But there's an explanation I won't get into. He essentially says, the coordinates say go to this spot, but because of the way satellites and light and time work, it can be anywhere within a range of this distance, that's very general. If you want the exact specifics, which is incredibly interesting, by the way, you'll have to watch this video. But basically the point of it was, the satellites might say you're exactly in the exact right spot. But because of the way math and physics works, you can actually be off by actually a great distance, regardless of the fact that your machines are saying you're in the right spot. And the reason I'm explaining this is because he wanted to include a sense of that particular inaccuracy into Minecraft. But Minecraft does that. The coordinates are on the left-hand side. There is no misgivings about where you are in Minecraft. So he wanted to turn that into... He wanted to still have the ability to not know where you are. At least not exactly perfectly all the time. And I have a solution to propose to him. I do not know how to make a banner, but no, I knew I wasn't going to be terribly off. I do have a solution for him, and I don't have any paper, do I? It's because I don't grow sugar cane. Well, I can have paper. How much am I gonna need? Yeah, that should be plenty. So we'll do a quick little bit of setup here. I'm gonna need a piece of redstone, which I knew was gonna be a struggle because I don't keep any of my materials here anymore. That's just, yeah. Hopefully my redstone box isn't here, because I know my iron box isn't. Hey, there's my redstone box. Neato burrito. So we can put the redstone box back. But I don't have an iron box, so we're just gonna have to steal some of that and make a compass. And make a map. There we go, we got ourselves a map. And I believe we can. So this is the point where, Joe, you should be paying attention, right? I'm not sure the specifics for geocaching. That's not something I've ever done before, but we're gonna name this Secret Treasure. I believe this is how this works. I've never actually done this before. But we can name a banner, and for funsies, we're just going to dig a hole right here. And we're going to place this banner down if I can get to it, if I can reach it. Aha! Then we'll cover it up. Boom, just like that, Joe. Banner's gone. We have no idea where it is. But I think, and I could be wrong, oh, let's do this. I think there's a way. Maybe it has to be on the surface? I've lost it. I don't know where it is. Aha! I'm the smartest. I think if I break this, though, it'll lose its name. There is definitely a way that you can get these banners to be named. Did it keep its name? It did! Cool. There's definitely a way that you can name these and get them to keep... Or maybe I have to have the map first. You can get them to keep the properties of banners on the map. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I have to... Oh, you right-click the banner. Look at that, Joe. Oop. I need to sleep. I need to sleep desperately. Haha. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Well, we know they keep their name, so... Let's try this again. Where's my shovel? I didn't mean to do that. And I just didn't stop digging. There we go, that works. Are you still on the map? Do I have to re-add you? Alright. I can't. There it is. It's like I can't see. Boom. Haha, there it is, Joe. This is what I recommend. So, you give them their GPS. This is it. This is the GPS. They just get a map. And, you know, it says secret treasure. Now, what you can do is, yes, they could, in theory, put their little icon on top of where this is. But then, without giving them coordinates, it could be in this location. So first, like, it's like trying to line myself up to be as close. And you know I'm not actually on the hole, because the hole's like right here-ish. And that doesn't line you up quite perfect with it. Yeah, so it's going to be like right here, right? Just to test that theory. No, see? So you can give them a sense of where they are, or where they should be, and still keep it pretty random. Like I'm not within, like I know I'm close to it, because I'm very much, my little avatar thing's like right on top of it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't bury it on the edge of my thing, where I appear to be sitting right on top of it. Is it right here? No, it's not. See, so that's really cool. And so when it comes to maps, we'll just take this boat, for example, and we're gonna paddle on out. Let's see which way do I gotta go? I gotta go this way. I'm trying to get off the map now. Alright. So a fun little thing with the maps, so in case you're wondering, Joe, and this is a thing that everyone can learn. Alright, you see I'm in the corner here, and I know I'm facing north. So we turn that on, you can see facing north. Look at where my little identifier is on the map. So regardless of if players recognize the actual stuff on the map as a location, like you obviously can guess where that bridge is and this flat land at the bottom and my little village at the top. You could pretty much guess where that is. But if you don't recognize anything on the map, all you have to do is orientate yourself facing north, and it's the same as wherever that dot is, pointing also the north side of the map. The top is north. That's how it always is. So, if your pixel was, say, in the bottom left-hand corner, you know that you would have to go northeast to get to this map. And if it's in the bottom right hand corner, you know you have to go northwest. So it doesn't tell you how far away it is. You don't get coordinates saying 3,000 blocks by 20,000 blocks and think I'm not walking 20,000 blocks. You get a map with, I have no idea how far away it is. And then as you travel with it, of course, you travel a little bit of distance, then you stop and look at it, nothing's changed, keep traveling. Oh, it appears to seem to have gotten a little bit bigger, which means I'm getting closer. Alright, nothing's changed, keep going. Oh, look at that, I'm on the map now, because I started off in the top right hand corner, so I knew I had to go southwest, which is the direction I'm going, southwest. Keep facing west, facing south, southwest. So you can use these maps to figure out where these things are, and you can use your coordinates to tell you which direction you need to walk in to get to this place, because you should have your player identifier on the map for anyone to be able to identify where all this stuff is. So that's my little recommendation for you, Joe, so you can explore the banners. And I've done all the testing work, so we know that breaking banners they'll keep their name, so you can play around with where you want to place the banners at. You can even put the banner here and then hide the treasure over here, right? Like, it doesn't even have to be on top of where that is. Like that could be your way of introducing randomness to the location, because you get to then specifically always say it's at this point, which you aren't guaranteed to get exact coordinates to sit on top. And I think that's where you're going to get actual randomness, where if you send me to coordinates minus 2318 by minus 342, and then you place the geocache on minus 2326 by 342, well, then it's always a specific distance from the coordinates that you send them to. But if you do it with the map, there is no specific spot that they're going to be standing on, because, like I demonstrated, like it looked like I was on top of the map down here, or on top of the thing, and it was like right there or something. Like, it's close, but I couldn't get exact to it. So there's an actual level of random that you don't have to fake. You can actually get true randomness. And so based on how players, you want to try to position themselves on it, you'll get different results. Like, sometimes a player will be 10 blocks away, sometimes another player will be 12 blocks away, sometimes a player will be 7 blocks away. So you'll actually get a level of randomness. And it's also pretty neat to see that you'll give them a map, so they're going on a treasure hunt with their map, which is kind of nice. And then you could also, if you really wanted to, he explained in his video that they don't do, they don't bury stuff. That's it. They don't bury anything. And I need to reset my music real quick. There we go. They don't bury anything. Nothing's actually, like, they're hidden, but they're hidden because they're clever. They're small. They're not exactly, like, your machinery's not going to take you exactly on top of the coordinates like what you would hope. So there's a level of randomness and clever hiding, but nothing's buried. So it's not like you shouldn't have to take something apart to find it. At least this is what I got from his video. You shouldn't have to take anything apart. You shouldn't have to dig anything up. But the little geocache treasure might be hidden in a tunnel that's underground. So in a sense, you could say it's buried, but really it's in the tunnel, so it's not buried. But if you wanted to include maps, you could go for exactness, where the banner is an exact representation of where it is, then you could bury something like a shulker box and include whatever knickknacks you want in it. I don't know, just an idea. But now we're here back in Kakariko Village. You know what, there is a thing I wanted to do, but it's going to require me needing to grow a tree. Let's put this all away. I'm gonna need to grow a tree. And you contain nothing. Tree stuff in here. We're gonna grow a couple of them just in case. Where are my shears? In my inventory, perfect. Alright. Should be able to grow them just fine right here, not connect to anything. Oh, beautiful. In my last episode, I discovered that I completely missed a section for leaves, and yeah, I thought I'd take a moment to just finish that up. And we'll plant another one just in case. Can never have enough leaves. I just committed a couple of saplings to this, and I'm running really low on the oak saplings. Too late now. I've already committed. Alright, over here, I explained in the video that I don't normally leave gaps that you can see. Oh yeah, and the sapling. Grow, grow, grow. This is what I put up with. They have difficulty growing sometimes, and then you'll end up wasting a ridiculous amount of bone meal on them. See if I can't reach back there. I cannot, but I can do that. And then place this back in. And then that one should be fine. Let's go around to the other side. Oh yeah, we need to load in this place. Look at that. As promised, we're going to keep it at super awesome distance so we can see all the awesome trees. Takes a little bit to load in though. Did I miss this completely or just that other side? Oh. I think I just missed the other side. Okay. I guess I missed them both completely, because that shouldn't be like that. There we go. We'll stick that in there like that. There we go. Looks like I didn't need this many leaves after all. Joke's on you, game. I have spares. We are in a mushroom biome, so nothing can spawn here, so we don't have to worry about sleeping exactly. Yeah, we should probably grow. I brought the stupid paper with me. We should probably definitely grow some jungle. Oh, I have jungle. We don't need to grow jungle. Beautiful. They're all perfect stacks. That's inconvenient. Let's see, where are we gonna grow this? Let's take this house, shall we? And we'll turn this into a jungle factory. There we go. Just grow a few of these guys up. There's a couple of these little cuties. Hey, I had exactly enough. Perfect. That way if we want to try some of the brown path. So, this is what I'm thinking. Let's put this away. Let's throw this away. Dump off this, dump off this. Oh no. It's breaking on me. Alright. We're going to have to conserve that a little bit. Where are my sticks? We're just going to have to make a bunch of throwaway shovels. My favorite. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking for pathways. We're going to start off by trying to do this bad boy, this number, and frame around these paths that we've marked out. So we'll come around like this, and we'll kind of try to get the shape of the path kind of worked out. And this would be like the edges of the path. That way we can remove these slabs. Once these are removed, here we'll there we go. Obviously there's going to be some randomness to it, and we'll have to come through and nitpick some stuff. But once we have a little spot just like this, we can knock some of these out. And then, let's get my good shovel, because I do want to keep that silk touch. And then we can come through and do something along the lines of this nonsense. And we can even knock out some of these if we really want to. But basically use this path block as a hard line. Oops, don't want to go that deep. Use it as a hard line for the exact borders of the pathway. And then just carve these out. And we'll only go that far because we haven't done all of the markings of the pathway. So once we have that, then we can come through and we could take... Need more dirt. Where do I put all my dirt? There you go. Not enough. Not enough. Then we can take these, we can make some coarse dirt. We can also grab some podzol. And we can start... Podzel's my favorite. My favorite block. Especially for path making. But podzol might actually just be my favorite block in this game. I love podzol. And I really like the way that B-dubs changed it up. I like the one from the B-dubs texture pack. But we're not running the B-dubs texture pack, so we just have this. So just kind of do some randomness with it. And then we'll kind of try to fill in some gaps with this nonsense. We'll leave a few spaces because we want to get a feel for what the brown concrete's going to look like, concrete powder. We want the podzol to also be the most dominant block, so this is going to get filled in more than the rest of the other stuff, which is also really convenient because we don't have to use any crazy methods for getting podzol. We just have to be able to, you know, grow trees. Man, those grew fast. We just have to be able to grow the spruce trees, the 2x2 spruce trees, which is fairly easy. And then that'll make podzol for us. So that'll actually be super convenient. Let's see, now we're gonna need some gravel and some sand. Gravel and sand. I know where my gravel is, so let's just grab a bunch of those. But which one is my sandbox? There you are. And that should give us plenty of those. And then we can slot a few of these guys in and see how that looks. So this would be kind of a rough idea of what the path looks like. What do you guys think? Is that pathy enough? There's another material we can use, and that is jungle. We could actually use jungle. Let's just grab a couple of them. Don't want to convert too many because I don't normally use this block for anything, and so if we decide not to use these, I don't want to have a bunch of these floating around. But we could come through and we could periodically say like that one, and this one, and this one. There, let's call that good. Then we can kind of do some like semblance of a hard path. I don't really like that so much. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But it does kind of blend in with it. We can sleep through the night so we can get a daylight look at it. What do you guys think? Do those stand out too much? I don't think it introduces enough structure, and that's the purpose of it. It's supposed to make it feel like there's some structure, but it's also a path that gets walked on a lot. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Let's remove these. I do like the other ones, though. I do like that. I like that we have the path blocks like on the edge and not so much in the middle. Though, because the path blocks are matted down, they would seem to make more sense to being more in the middle. Unless we had carts coming through here, then of course they would be on either side of the road. So that'd be like where the wheels are. And then people who aren't as heavy as carts walk in the path, right? They usually walk down the center of the road. So, I don't know, I think this is coming together already. Dang it, Bo? Hey, Joe's on the server. I will say hi. Nope, that is a yo. Like, that's not a recognizable command. Like, it's not a command, it's a greeting. We'll drop this out. And like I said, don't use jungle for anything. Alright, shall we do some path building? Let's see what we got here. So this is like pseudo random. I mean, I mostly did my path making with these slabs to determine where everything goes. So most of the path making has been figured out already, and now I'm just, ooh, you know what? That's what we could use jungle for. Haha! Give me my blocks back. I apparently need them now. Hehehe. Where are you? Everyone else seeing this? Where are my slabs? Why is it not listed on the side? Crazy. Well, you can see how much I use those. Are we just gonna plot these in? They're mostly figured out already. And we'll just come through here. And these pathways are mostly just like, it's a dead end, so it just kind of like, it can peter off and not be like super perfect or elaborated on, because like these hardly get walked on to be dilapidated. But we can remove these now. Oh, it feels good removing all that nonsense. And then of course, now we have our way up. Let's remove this nonsense. Oh, and that's the entrance to the house. We actually have to include that too. A little confusing, but we got there. We got there in the end. We want to leave a little space between houses because I like the idea, you know, they actually can utilize some of the property surrounding them if they ever so chose. Ooh, look at this. This cobblestone, you know what this represents? That is greenery that I apparently have just completely missed. Oh well. Now we don't want to go too far this way because don't know what the size of this is going to look like. But we certainly can do the rest of this. And so this is mostly what I wanted to get done. Like, this is the big project I had in mind for today's live stream. It's getting these pathways put in. I like to use these live streams. At least I find that it seems to be the most convenient use of my time for these live streams anyway. To tackle projects that I would either otherwise just do off camera and or kind of boring, and being able to do them on the live stream, you know, kind of let you guys in on the whole, like, what it takes to complete some of this stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's just really tedious work, and that's why it gets cut out of the videos, because it's not entertaining to watch necessarily. But if we do this on live streams, the playback for YouTube's not so great, but with Twitch, if you guys watch live, then that means you guys get to respawn, leave comments, talk to me live during chat. So that is a fun thing we can do with Twitch if people want to follow and watch. If not, then we just kind of do projects like this. Regardless, I think we would do projects very similar to this either way, just because it's a really good use of the time. We're not doing anything that I have to spend a lot of time hemming and hawing about, even though I do a bunch of that regardless. Knock all these out. So this little center bit with the trees right there, the two trees that we kind of work around, it's kind of like, it's like a courtyard, but it's the middle of the busy village area. I should grab leaves and really put this path in over here, or these leaf walls. Don't let me forget that. All of just me watching. Aha. So I've been doing this thing at the ends of my videos, and I feel comfortable sharing this because I know I am the only one watching at the moment. But we'll consider this like bonus content for anybody who watches the live streams on the second channel. Take a sip. Oh, that's nice. So we'll consider this the same bonus content for people who watch the live streams. If you guys are watching the live streams and you're watching them back on YouTube, you're watching the live streams on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you guys are here and watching them, and leave your Minecraft name if you have one. I imagine you probably do have a Minecraft name if you're watching Minecraft content. Leave your Minecraft name, and you can be specific and let me know whatever name you actually want, provided it's appropriate for a kid-friendly channel. So that's important. So don't get too crazy with it. And I'm going to be making what would you call it? What are they called? It's like a monument to my patrons, though this is an extended offer beyond just my Patreon page, which typically, and I've said this in another video, typically this would just strictly be a Patreon reward, but I also want to reward anybody who's watching all this other content, these side content, so, you know, getting to the ends of main videos, because, you know, retention time is important, but also these live streams don't get a lot of views, and that's understandable because they're forever long, and so we want to have a way to say thank you to people who are watching these, or reward people for watching these longer drawn out content things. And so in the Temple of Time, there's like a Patreon name thing that we're gonna do to honor the patrons, and we're extending that offer for a limited time anyway. We're extending that offer to anybody who makes it to the end of the videos, or watches the live streams on YouTube. So yeah, you just leave your name. You'd leave ideally your Minecraft name, so I can include your player head. And yeah, you would also want to include the name that you would want to be written on the sign, or whatever it is we're going to be using. So like, for example, if your Minecraft name is, I don't know, we'll use mine for example. So if your username was Wintertooth, right, but you didn't want Wintertooth to be the thing listed on it. Say you wanted your real name instead of your Minecraft name to be on the sign, then, and this isn't my real name, it's just an example, but we could say Steve. Yep, Steve's a good example name. Like, yeah, my username's Wintertooth, but I want to use my real name, Steve. And again, Steve's not my real name. Don't call me Steve. I'm a polar bear, not a Steve. No! There we go. What's all this greenery still doing here? My inventory's full, isn't it? Wow. Means it's full of dirt. Oh well. Does this make me a wasteful bear because I don't really care to pick up all the grass blocks? Ooh, you know it'd be fun if I had a live following at the moment. Then I could be asking you guys what sorts of things you would want to hear spoiler wise about the map. I could be like, hey, do you guys want to hear about, do you want me to name the temples? Do you want me to talk about a specific temple specifically? Do you want me to dive deeper on a thing, you know, and have you guys kind of vote on what thing we really dive into? That'd be pretty fun. Of course, I would need you guys to be on the live part of it for that. So maybe you guys can consider that. If you guys really like having bonus content, bonus materials, like reward stuff, could be a good incentive to watch the live stream. Like I know what all of the bonus items do. All of the stuff you would find in temples. I know the themes for each of the temples. I have a rough idea, at the very least, I have a rough idea for what order you'll be getting items in based on the temples. That one's a little bit more subject to change. Just as, you know, things in Minecraft happen. Did you guys see Minecon Earth? Like, holy moly, right? The villagers getting the village and pillage update looks insane. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not. We are so close, and I'm gonna check. We are so close to getting Optifine. Here we go. Optifine. We're still at 90%, aren't we? Aren't we? Dang, we're still at 90%. It's been at 90% for a while now. We're still at 90% with Optifine. I'm excited. I'm so excited to get Optifine back. Just in time to lose it again for the next update. Oh, I wonder how that would affect existing worlds. Is it gonna supersede current villagers? Will the new villagers break iron farms? Will the raiding villagers, how do they work? Are they gonna just randomly spawn in? Do they spawn in based on distance to villages? And if that's the case, do they spawn in based on if the village is truly there or not? That would be interesting because this map is so big that it's practically guaranteed to have a place where a village should be, but isn't because I disabled them generating inside the map. If they're disabled, does that supersede the pillagers from generating in? Would you be able to play this map in 1.14 or above and be running around outside and not know that you're standing on a space, like say right here, happen to be standing on an area where a village didn't spawn because it's disabled, but the game says a village would normally go here, so pillagers spawn in and come in here to hang out in the space where the village should be? Is that going to be a thing? Because if you're in the map and playing, for all you know, there's nothing around you, and then all of a sudden a bunch of hostile mobs spawn in around you because they think you're in a village. Like, is that going to be a thing? They're making a new weapon, the crossbow. They said it's not going to be as powerful for the bow as the bow, but you know, crossbows are more powerful than bows. They take longer to load, but they are more powerful. Could depend on the bow. Longbow might actually be superior, but we know that the crossbow is going to shoot farther. We know it's going to get its own enchantments. But depending on how the crossbow works out, and the timing of this map, and what they predict the release of that schedule is going to be for 1.14, are we going to be able to slot in a crossbow to this map before it gets released? Is that going to end up being one of the game items? Because I do like me a crossbow. Pretty excited when I heard them do crossbows. Oh, I got so excited. It's my favorite thing. New gear to play around with, especially as somebody who likes to make puzzles in the form of like temples or dungeons for other players to play in. Giving them access to really cool, unique tools and weapons is really nice. Like, the trident doesn't technically have a home in one of my maps yet, but it's been on my radar. I have been thinking about it, but officially speaking, it's not. Doesn't have an actual home yet in the map, because I'm still tinkering around with what I want to do with it. I think Riptide's my favorite concept idea that we could use for the trident, but I don't want to give a player like that. Riptide didn't build this map thinking that a player might be able to whirlpool out of the water at possibly really tall heights, or worse, it rains and then they have pseudo flying. Like, if I could find a way to disable that pseudo flying, we could eliminate a lot of the problems that I have with Riptide. Because the Riptide, I think, of all of the things that the Trident does, Riptide is the one that would be fun for a map. Just Riptide is also the one that's most likely to break my map. So that's why it hasn't been fully worked in yet, because the thing that would be the best, because picture it, obviously you would get that in the water temple, right? Like, it's the water, it's the Trident. It's definitely the water temple item. Like, I have to be on theme with that. Like, I can't not be on theme with that. It's too good. But, and conceptually that's fun too. It works in the water. We could use it as a way to, like, I could make like a mini game, and, well, I say mini game, but we could treat it like a mini game specifically for like it's a boss. Like, this mini game is the boss, and that whirlpooling yourself through small holes at a specific speed could be what, like, how you beat this mini boss. Like, This literally just came to me, so we're gonna try to explain as best I can. Picture for a moment, if you will, you're swimming, and you know how you can fit through 1 by 1 holes, right, while you're swimming? Picture there's a little tunnel there, and there's this mini game, and maybe it's shooting potion effects of harming, or somehow arrows are raining down on you. You know, something that can kill the player, because obviously we want the boss to have the ability to possibly kill the player. And you try swimming through these, but every time you try swimming through them, you activate some redstone, which is connected to some sticky pistons, which then close the way off before you can get through it. You're not fast enough to get through it. But if you have the trident and you line it up just right, you can possibly whirlpool through it quick enough, faster than the piston will extend, blocking your path, and being able to hit the like the tripwire maybe behind it. Maybe we can get like a block of, just a single block of air, so when you pass through this tripwire or whatever, that counts as some damage to this quote-unquote minigame boss. So it wouldn't be like an actual entity following you around, it'd be like you're fighting a machine. We could do that, and the trident could be the way that you would defeat this thing, but we have to find a way that the trident won't. I need more podzol as well. We'd have to find a way so the trident doesn't break stuff, because if it rains in the map, and I do not want to disable the rain, the rain doesn't hurt anything currently, but if we put the trident in, it'll break everything. So if anyone has a solution for that, like, hopefully you can hear and imagine how cool and exciting a Riptide Trident would be, but hopefully you can also equally see how broken it is if you can just fly out of the map when it rains. And I know you totally can do that, because I totally have a screenshot of me being at like Y level 5000 during one thunderstorm, and I just decided to go up as high as I can during that single weather cycle, and I didn't even finish it. I got bored and I dropped out after I reached just above 5,000. I didn't make it through the whole storm. Just got too bored to do that. But that trident, ooh boy. There's some fun stuff we can do with the trident. Just, we can't use the trident because it breaks the map. So again, if anybody has any ideas for a solution for how we could have Riptide on a trident and not disable the weather and keep them from, and keep them from basically flying out of the map, I would love to hear it. I have a feeling though it's not gonna be possible, and that the solution, you would have to disable the rain, but I really don't want to disable the rain. This place is gonna look phenomenal with shaders, and when it rains in shaders, oh my goodness, that is one of the most gorgeous things. Sounds like my music stopped. It may have stopped a while ago, and I've just been sitting here geeking out about how cool the trident would be. But we'll take that, we'll circle it all the way back around to the crossbow. I have a feeling a crossbow is not going to allow a player to just escape a map. So I have a feeling we're going to be able to actually use the crossbow effectively. What do you guys think? Is this path looking okay? Does this brown help to separate from the greenness? Because that's kind of the whole point of it. We aren't done with this greenness. Obviously, we want to hit some of the stuff with bone meal. We want to get flowers in here. But these definitely are pathways. They definitely feel like pathways. You know who has a sheep farm and we need some wool? Yuki. Joe and I, as far as I know, have been the only people on the server as of late. Natsume, I know she's a real life personal friend of mine. Known her since I was like 3 years old. She told me that she's not done on the server. It's just real life stuff that's keeping her off. I know she doesn't do videos, and you guys wouldn't be following her because she doesn't do videos, but like, there's a reason why. And I'm not saying I know the reason. It's not a reason that I'm aware of. I'm not alluding to a specific reason, but there's definitely a reason why not everyone is on the server anymore. We know when we invited Slashway to play that he he didn't give too many details, but it sounds like he runs his own business. And recently compared to when he joined us on the server, he need to bring some of this just in case. He lost a secretary around the time that he started playing on the server with us, so he had a much greater workload than average, and so we know obviously he's been busy. And at this point, of course, everyone who's been on the server's free to keep playing. We're still public. We have no the only restriction for playing on the server is that we wanted you to either be a close personal family or friend of ours, or if you're not one of those two things, if you're not family or a close personal friend, the thing we wanted from other players, and I need to turn my render distance down from here, was for them to be making videos. Now, we know he makes videos, but we also know he's busy, and we're not monsters. So, Slash hasn't been on the server. Alokibu has been going to school. I won't elaborate on that. I don't know if he's revealed anything in his videos. But school started up for him again, so we know he's been busy too. Totally understandable. Yuki has a real life. Totally understandable. Oh, they're all multicolored sheep. Boo. Boo. That's a lot of dye. Can I dye them? Can I take a red, a green, a black, a gray, and a yellow and dye them all into a single color? Boo. Guess we're gonna find out. Come on. Here we go. This is gonna clog my inventory. But Joe actually runs his own business too. But Joe, from what I could tell, has never needed a secretary in the first place. It's not that kind of business. So Joe's been able to keep producing videos. The family related to Joe, you know, for him, they're his children, and they have school. Like, no getting around that one. They're pretty busy. Let's see, who else? Natsume's just had some real life stuff coming up. It's hard to tell if I got enough wool or not. Feel like there's so... Why Shy? We haven't heard anything about. She hasn't posted a video, and she's never communicated with us on Discord. She just reads the chats. And usually we get her feedback via videos. So I don't know what's going on with Why Shy. Does anyone else have sheep? I don't think so. I don't think Joe has any sheep. I know I don't have any sheep because I very quickly just made spawn eggs and turned a spawner into my animal farm for food. Are they not eating grass and making noises? Are they just generating... Yeah, look at him. He just generated... What is going on? Should they... All my particles are on. Why aren't you guys eating the grass? What is happening? Is this a bug? That one's eating. Why is it silent? Why can't I hear them eating? And why aren't they breaking the grass block? What is going on here? Such weird. Okay. Anyway, long story short, jumping back to people being on the server. People are... Oh, I'm having some lag. I wonder if Joe's doing a thing. People are pretty busy, and no one's flat out said anything to anybody, as far as I know, along the lines of, man, that wind is super loud. Along the lines of that they're done and that they're not doing any videos anymore. Oh, this is gonna be a real test. I think I fixed. Let me finish my first story. Don't think nobody said anything about being done. So you can still probably bank on. Oh man, Joe, what are you doing? The lag. Yeah, you can still probably bank on possibly still getting a few more videos from Elo and Slash and possibly Shy. We don't know. No one said anything about being done or quitting or anything. All we know for sure is that they're people and they have busy lives, and so, you know, things come up. Joe and I, though, are basically regularly on the server and still making content regularly. I think for he and I, it's turned into a little bit, it's definitely a passion project. I know Joe loves to play with other players and have them on the server and be able to do and try things with them. Like, he's doing the geocaching thing, which is really cool. Really excited for that. In fact, I want to also hide some stuff for that geocaching specifically. That way he also gets to experience the same thing. Have that mystery of not knowing where a thing is and having to go find it. I don't want him to have to... Because that's something I face. I build all my temples, and as I'm building them, I'm thinking, how cool is this going to be to play? Except for me, because I know every single detail about them, and therefore playing the game for me is kind of a moot point, because I know where everything is, and I know how to solve all the puzzles, and yeah. So I'm very familiar with that feeling. I've accepted that. I'm okay with that. But because I'm familiar with that feeling, I'm a wise enough bear to be able to recognize when another player could be facing that. And for Joe, he could be facing that. He's plotting out where all these things are going to go. So he's going to know where they are already. And it's not going to be a surprise or a challenge for him. And the project sounds easy enough that I can help him and I can provide some scavenger hunting for him. So he can have it too. And I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to be a part of that project, even though he's not fully aware of it. The other thing, the reason why we haven't jumped down yet, is because we had a problem, and so we might have to do some creative mode stuff. We had a problem with the command block either teleporting all of the players on the server or none of the players on the server when there were multiple players on the server. If there was only one person, it's not a problem, but when there's multiple people, it either would take everyone or no one. At first it took everyone, and then it took no one, and now I think I have it fixed. There's two of us on the server. He looks like he might be AFK. There's two of us on the server, and I think it's fixed, and we're going to test it, and if it's broken, we're going to have to fix it. I'm only seeing winter was teleported. That's a good sign so far. It takes a moment to load in. There we go. And I don't see a Joe. That's good. Perfect. I think we totally succeeded in fixing it. Man, I can't wait to have Optifine. So I can just hit the C button and zoom in to get them to load in. So this is, that's typically what I do. Oh, let's see if I can do this in this super awkward mode. I did it. Before I record a clip, I'll come in, I'll zoom in all the way, and I'll look in a particular direction just like this until I can't see any more holes loading in. And then repeat. I'll do the same for this. Because they load in faster when they're zoomed in on. But arguably it's about the same, I guess. But the more distant objects, like the trees that you barely see in the silhouette, those take a long time to load in when your view is on normal. But when you zoom in, they load in a lot faster. And so I'll do this before I'll push record on a video. I'll make sure that, because I do quite a bit of back and forth between the base and this place. So every time I come back and I think I'm going to do a recording, I just double check to make sure I've got everything loaded in. And this is new. I think I've only literally done one episode where we have our render distance on the server itself turned up so we can see this far. The server was capped at 12 for a long time, but now that we don't have hardly anybody on the server actively playing, and I spend most of my time over here, I bumped the stuff up. So Joe owns the server, but Joe's been gracious enough to be as accommodating as possible for this adventure map stuff. And I think it's 99% because he's just a good guy and wants all of us to have fun. But I think there's a 1% little thing in there where he's like, I really want to play that map too, so I'm going to let him do what he needs to do to make sure that map gets going so I can play it. And so he's given, it's his server, he pays for it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much, Joe. But because of that, he's given me access to, he's given us a specific username, and he's given us a still secret but generic enough password. So it's not a password that is specific or meaningful to him, but it's still a secure password for the server. So he and I both have access to it, so I can come in and do all the server maintenance. Because I'm basically the guy that said, I want to do that for some reason. And so I do all the server maintenance. And so I'm able to basically get onto the server site and adjust things kind of whenever. And I sometimes stick my foot in my mouth when I do that, though. Like, Yuki has a little brother, and she, for his birthday, bought him Minecraft. And she reached out to me and was asking, would it be okay to whitelist her brother? He's not a YouTuber, and technically Yuki's not a close friend. I don't know her personally, but she is a friend from another server that, yeah. So I've met her through Minecraft, and so she was asking for his birthday as an additional bit to getting Minecraft, can we whitelist him? And for me, it was a very like quick, sure. Like, dang it. I thought, don't we have universal dying? How does that work? Oh, I thought we had universal dying. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. I bet you guys are wondering why we have wool. wanted to finish the houses real quick. They're only missing one thing. That's it. They're missing one detail. And I need a bunch of wool for it. Bunch of brown wool specifically. I guess it doesn't all have to be brown. I just kind of want it to all be brown. What colors would we use though? I want to use Kakariko Village colors. Obviously we could do like an orange. I think orange might be okay. I don't think I have any orange dye. But we do have some orange wool. There's flowers in one of these boxes, isn't there? But still no orange. Okay. Well, we have yellow. Do we have red? Red and yellow make orange, right? Yes, it does. Okay, so yeah, we have we have orange. Question though is what other colors? We want to do happy colors. Brown for sure because it matches the theme. Orange I think is gonna be nice. Yellow itself might actually be pretty good. I want to do warm, bright colors, with the exception of for brown. Brown's not technically a bright or a warm color. I would call it warm. Brown feels warm to me, right? Hey, you can hear my baby. Sounds like someone's awake. But yeah, this is what we want. Banners. We do blue. Maybe we do two blues. This is light blue, right? Yes. So we need two more light blue dyes. I think I have. Oh, you see Joe down there getting a bunch of Astronewt's head. He's working on the geocaching and if you watch his video, he explains. So it's totally cool. But he definitely explains something to do with those heads. So if you guys are curious what he's doing with player heads, be sure to go check it out. Let's use blue for shops. Let's do... Dang it. Missed it by a hair. Did you guys see the difference between the Astronewts in the chat there? Did I say my music stopped a long time ago and I haven't fixed it yet? I think so. There we go. What's the difference between those two Astronewts? That's right, the answer is 1-0. Both his daughter. He has a son, B Squiddy, and he has two daughters, and they both go by the name Astronewt, except one has one more O than the other. And if you think that's confusing, they also have the same skin. So they're twins in Minecraft too. Okay, let's do... Nope, not that. That's not what I wanted. How many do I need? I think I need 3 more oranges, which is 1 more orange in total. If we want to have 2 oranges. And we'll convert both of the light grays because we're not going to do that. We'll convert one of the whites because we're not going to do that one either. There's B's head. Oh, that's right. I was gonna talk to him about that. We don't have any system in place to get our own player heads. I was thinking about he can using that as like a reward system for his geocaching. The more you find, the more of your head you can get. Oh, let's see if I can... I won't be vague with you guys. The idea, of course, was to make it so, oh, I found the location. Here's the treasure box. Oh, there's so many player heads. One of each. One of each. You can take your head. That's how you get your player head. The more geocaches that you find, the more heads you get. Grab a head. 3 heads. Oh, now I got 4 of my heads. Now I got 5 of my heads. And then we could do a we can do trades with players. Like, oh, B, I really want one of your heads. I'll trade you one of mine. Because yeah, right now we don't have a system in place to get any player heads. Now B actually has one of his own heads because we did something special for him when that stupid mutt dog attacked him. Alright, let's count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 houses. 9 with the farmers. Yeah, 9 with the farmers. 2 of them will be shops. So 7 houses. We have 3, so we need 4 more. Let's make 1 red one. Come on, show me the red one. There it is. 1 red one, that gives us a total of 4 there. And we'll do the last 3 as the brown. That's 2. That's 3. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so we saved the blue ones, obviously, because we don't have shops in place yet. But just like that. Boom. That's the door. We want it to, it's an open feeling, but we want it to also obstruct your vision. But we don't want it to be an obstructing thing. I played around with putting it on the back, but I don't really like it so much on the back. Because it doesn't obstruct your vision anymore, really. I would have liked to have had them like that, hanging, but I couldn't get it to hang from the bottom of that. They want to hang on. See, if you try to put it on the bottom of that, it sticks to that. They want to be against a thing. And I wish that wasn't the case. So that's why they're hanging on the front just like that. So they can kind of obstruct your vision. Let's see. No, I don't want to do orange on orange. We'll do yellow on orange. Ooh. Do you guys even like yellow? I don't like yellow. Maybe you have to be a brown because you got the... There's just too much going on there. We'll just leave you as brown and keep you neutral. What about you? Can you be yellow? I just don't like yellow. What about orange? Orange isn't bad. Gotta try that red. Let's make you an orange. We'll make this one a red. Ooh, that red is bright too. So is that orange. You know what? The only one I like is the brown one. Ooh, that's unfortunate. I was really excited to have a bunch of different colors. I can't dye banners, can I? Can you change the color of the banner, or does it just change or add a shape to them? Guess I'll find out, right? Oh, bugger. Whew, that's not cool. Alright. Well, let's pretend this one's a shop. Just curious what it looks like. Maybe we can do something. Let's snag one of these brown ones back. didn't expect for these other colors to just be so bad. What if we do something like, where did I stash all my player heads? That's not my only creeper. There's, oh, I dropped it off at the house. Dang it, all the way back at the house. But what if we did something like, just for example, is this how this works? Or do I have to put a color in there too? I have to put a color in there too. What if we did something like that, right? Just for example, the brown banner with the creeper face on it as a color, whatever that color is. And then that could be kind of like a representation of what the shop is. It's a monster supply shop or something, you know? What does this look like with blue? Can I dye all of them like that? No. What about this? That's a lot to waste to test to see if I can turn that whole thing brown. Oh boy, I think these are just garbage. Or, what about, oh, these guys. These guys might be salvageable. I've committed a lot to that. Alright, we'll pretend... Let's pretend this one's a shop then, shall we? That's not bad. I don't dislike that. Huh. What do you guys think? Is that bad? Is it okay? We have to figure out what the shop is though, I think. Exactly what their business is. I think that would be the best way to go about it, because then we could say, like, I don't know, the one that's coming to mind for me anyway is like, we'll pretend like this house is a bank, right? We put the banner on to represent this is the bank, and then the shape inside of here would be the emerald shape. You know, that almost a diamond, but with it's like a hexagon. It's emerald, right? That's just an emerald shape, I think. But it, you know, it looks like money, and having that shape on there would denote that, hey, this building has something to do with money specifically. Also, it's the bank, you know, because then we could do a bunch with that. Oh well, I think we're gonna have to come back to banners. I might have to do that off camera. Dang, I was pretty excited for that too. Let's throw all the wool and nonsense in there as well. Put those back. Make sure we get our grubby hands. I was right though, wasn't I? I didn't even think to look at the emerald. I was right. It is emerald shaped. It's like a diamond shape, but it's hexagonal instead. Alright, did anyone see where I put? Yes, there it is. And all these shovels. And I need podzol. How much quartz do I got? I got some. Go back to path making. Gonna need this shovel back. Thank you. How do I want to do that? Do we want this to branch inward like this and connect to here, or do we want this pathway to... This feels like this path is meant to come this way. Let's do that. Let's just like that. Okay. we're gonna need some more jungle. And we'll swap this out. And we'll follow our rough outline of pathage here. Get rid of that nonsense. Well, we know these are all going to come out. And while I can still see the shape, we want to get this shape back in here. Oh boy, path making. It's just the funnest, isn't it? There's so much to talk about. How many ways can we talk about the path? That's why commentary in today's episode's a little whatever. What could we do with the crossbow? What do we know about the crossbow right now? Does anybody know? What details about this crossbow have been made clear to us? No, I don't. I can't have you like that. I can have you like that. We know it's going to get its own enchants. We know it takes longer to load. We know it shoots farther than the bow. Think about. I like to be in the path. So these are all things we know about it. We don't know what the enchants are going to be. If I had to guess, there's definitely going to be one that increases damage. There might, and I'm just speculating, if one of its selling points is that it shoots farther, there might be an enchantment that also increases the range of how far it shoots. Obviously, unbreaking's probably going to be a thing for it. Ooh, you know what? They say it's going to be slower to load. Bet you there's an awesome enchantment to increase the speed at which you can load it. Ooh, what if there's a... We saw that they could shoot things like rockets too, and like have fireworks go off that you just launched out of from your crossbow. What if that's one of the enchantments, to be able to do that? Like, don't think of the enchantment as a magical enhancement. Think of it as a mechanical enhancement. That specific enchantment is the mechanical components to be able to rig it up so you can attach things like rockets and shoot them, right? Maybe that's a way they might take it. All right. Now, this mental exercise is for the purpose of if those things are feasible, which of those things would we want the most, right? For any of the maps. If faster draw speed's one thing, sure. And that could be, we might be able to put like a specific level of draw speed enchant on it, just to keep players from getting OP crossbows. Like, because if we give them a crossbow, but we also want to give them a bow, maybe, like, or maybe there's like some kind of boomerang effect we have. You know, we want to make sure that one of them, if it's going to be weaker, needs to always be faster, right? That's always the give and take for things like that. You always sacrifice speed for power and power for speed. It's kind of how it usually works out to maintain a good game balance. So if we want to make sure we maintain a balance like that, we would probably cap how fast you could load up the crossbow. But if it shoots things like rockets, let's use rockets specifically because that's the example we were given. What could we do with that? Imagine, if you will, for a moment that you're doing this adventure map and you've just been given a bow. And a part of the explanation for how you can use the bow is that you can shoot rockets specifically. How could we use that for a map? This is basically the thought process I go through for all of my map making when it comes to items. How can we, and think outside the box too. All levels of enchantment are at our disposal. Possibly, and they usually require tweaks, and it usually takes my code guy to figure out how to tweak those things. How can we manipulate it so, say for example, without giving away anything. Know what? Screw it. Let's give one thing away. We're an hour and a half into the live stream. Statistically speaking, nobody makes it this far on YouTube, so not for my videos anyway. Let's talk about one of them. We're gonna use the jungle plank as the example. This thing will have a specific name called bomb. Yes, we have bombs in this world. They can be retextured, which I probably will do that, because otherwise they just look like TNT. They're the TNT block. You can right click and place them. Sure. You can't actually in the adventure map. You can't do that because you'll be in adventure mode. You can't place blocks. But anywhere else, you could place them and they're whatever. Or, where's my axe? Cut that out. Or if it's in your hand and you Q throw it with Q. When you throw it, it will boom pop into place just like that. And it will be lit. And it will explode. And my code guy he says it's really simple. So I trust him on that. It says very, very simple to set up. So it's a very simple little fix he did where you throw it, it places itself down into the world, ignited, and just before it blows up, he has it set up so the block itself will be deleted, which it would if it was exploding, and it gives the particle effect like it exploded, it gives the sound effect so it sounds like it exploded, and any players within a certain distance, it does up to 2 hearts of damage. That's it, just 2 hearts of damage, and it also does that damage to mobs. But it does not affect terrain, and it won't break anything. It won't break any blocks at all, except infested. They used to be called monster blocks. Now they're called infested blocks. The ones that you break and silverfish come out of. It only breaks infested blocks. All of them across the board, all infested blocks can be broken. So that means we can very classically have... Do I have any stone in here? I do. Do I have any furnaces? I probably don't. Well, let's make a few. Let's make one. Because I know I can explain it and I know you guys will understand it. But seeing it... Oh boy, seeing it... You really get a feel for it. Where is my coal? It's over here. That's not what I wanted. Just wanted to drop off one. Boom, boom. We'll let that smell up for a second. But that's what I'm talking about. TNT doesn't do that, right? It doesn't ignore destroying blocks. It doesn't ignore how much damage does. In fact, the damage actually is ranged based on how close you are to it. The closer, the more damage, right? It doesn't pick one specific block over another to break. It's unjudging, unbiased, unadulterated. I'm blowing everything up. Taking everything with me. So picture that for the crossbow. It does A in the game. It does anything that falls under the category of A, the letter A, in the game. But with the magic of commands and functions, it could also do anything under B. It just won't do anything under B naturally. You have to have this additional thing that we're adding to get it to do B. So think about that. Your bolts that you shoot, maybe they explode when they hit things. Maybe when they hit things, it has knockback 10 and you just launch things away. Maybe it has, I don't know, and my code guy's the guy that gives me the answers if these things are possible. Maybe when it hits the mob, it applies a 360 no scope ender pearl throw, right? You picture that. So when you hit them, they randomly in any direction get teleported, right? As if they did a 360 through an ender pearl. 360 no scope, ender pearl, and we're over there now apparently, because that's what happened. Picture that. That's the kind of craziness we want to do. Now if we go back to the bombs for a second. Say we are walking around minding our own business and we happen to come across this otherwise normal wall and cracks in the wall. That's really weird. Let's come back to the side. And we'll do this. Just for whatever's sake. So we're like, okay, that's really strange. Come back. You come back to it. You don't know what that is. It's just odd and it stands out to you. You go to a temple. You get the bombs. And you figure out that they break infested monster stone. We're going to use specifically cracked infested monster stone so the player can always recognize it. Because maybe there's a couple of like super secret things we do and they're not obvious and you have to go around just blowing up everything to find it. Maybe that's a thing. I haven't made up my mind on that. But you see this and you think nothing of it. You go to the temple, you get the item, you discover what the item does, and then you remember this crack in the wall. Then you come back here and you throw it, and then it turns into a block that, it's sizzling, the bomb activates. And I wonder if we can change. Let's finish my thought first. It blows up. It will only destroy the infested blocks. They'll get deleted. You won't be able to pick them up. And all of a sudden, right in here, there's a chest. And you open the chest and there's stuff in it. And we have, thanks to my code guy, we have the classic blow a hole in the wall trick to find secret treasures, hidden rooms. That is 100% in our adventure map. Super excited about that. Thanks to our man figuring it out. I only had the idea because I've actually seen somebody else make the code before, so I knew it was possible in a version of Minecraft, but my code guy figured it out for me and we have access to it. So there you guys go. You got your spoiler for what one of the items are. And this path, I'm really liking this path. I ran out of blocks though. What did I run out of? Course, got this, got this. Oh, I ran out of course and I got more course. Okay, we're good. Slabs. We need slabs. My inventory's getting full. There we go, that should do the trick. We don't need that anymore. But that's kind of what I'm thinking for the crossbow. We want an item that does something special. It does something more than Minecraft. Typically. There's another item that I'm not gonna get into that is like 99% Minecraft. Shrugs my shoulders. Like, what can I say about it? It's 99% Minecraft. The 1% is it does an additional feature that Minecraft doesn't do, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's a thing. It doesn't add extra power to it, but it does enable it to be used for problem solving, which is really neat. So that's another thing. Like, without getting too deep into it, we have an item that provides the player a way to think about how puzzles could be solved and provide them with the resources and hopefully the inspiration, the thought to try it, to solve puzzles. But it doesn't necessarily change the item. Like, it's still the Minecraft item. It just has one addition to it that my code guy was able to make for us, that otherwise is just a normal Minecraft item. So for example, again, I'm great at coming up with examples, but my examples usually are not what I would consider good enough for items in my map. We'll say we know that the shovel does this. We know it does that. So let's pretend observer blocks don't exist. The thing I would have my code guy do is find a way for when you did that with a shovel to maybe have a scoreboard or something. He does the heavy lifting for me because I don't know how you would do it, but he would essentially come up with a way that says when you do that, the game will run us a thing which creates an outcome. We didn't change the shovel. The shovel is the same. The thing that's different is that this particular shovel has a specific name that that line of code or function is looking for when it does that. So when Ice Cube does the flattening thing, then the function happens. So no other shovel can do it. And then the thing happens, which reacts to flattening grass into the dirt path, right? That's basically along the lines of what we've given this additional item. Here, let's just do, it probably wouldn't be coarse, would it? Probably would be coarse, huh? Oops. Did not mean to turn you into a path block. I'm so sorry, sir. There, that's fine. You can do that. So, if that's something else you guys could think of, maybe the crossbow is mostly the same, mostly unchanged, but it has an additional feature based on something it already does in the game. It's like, we know it shoots crossbow bolts. Great. Maybe those crossbow bolts are the things that's special. That could totally be a thing. We could treat it like the bow from Ocarina of Time, or possibly one of the other games, where you get the fire arrow and the ice arrow. It's not like, the bow's good, but it's not necessarily the bow that is like the breakout star. It's the special arrows you're shooting from the bow. Like, great, you shot me with an arrow that did damage. Oh, but you shot me with a fire arrow, it did the same damage, plus I'm on fire? So maybe that's a thing we can do with the crossbow. Maybe we can enhance the bolts. Like I said, we already know it's going to shoot fireworks. Who says it can't shoot other things? Maybe it can shoot ender pearls. Maybe it's a special teleportation device. It's the crossbow of portals, you know. Maybe it's maybe it shoots bone meal, and maybe that's a thing that we can use. Maybe we can set up an observer that otherwise wouldn't do anything because you're in adventure mode, but the crossbow grows grass on the grass.
And then the observer activates. Maybe that's a thing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to with your guys' help. Coming up with a bunch of ideas for things we think the crossbow might do. Then we can include them in the map. And based on its complexity, we might be able to get my code guy to do it for free. Because I pay him. I pay him money to make my codes. But he does extend the offer to do certain things for free. Like, for example, he doesn't want to do it forever, and that's totally understandable. And the fact that he even offered in the first place was, like, amazing of him. But he did offer, at least for a little while in the beginning. If we have troubles with unexpected behavior of items that he's making for us, he'll do all the fixes, free of charge, because they're unintended, unintentional. We didn't catch them in the testing phase mistakes. It's like getting a warranty on your phone. Basically, he's extended this offer of, I'm pretty certain it's gonna work, but Minecraft changes, updates happen. So for a limited time, just like what a warranty would do, offering any additional assistance in the event that something comes up and something's not behaving predictably. It's not behaving in the way that it should predictably be behaving. He's extended the, very generous, I will come in and fix that, free of charge. So we know he's a generous and awesome guy, and maybe, provided the item is simple for him to code, that doesn't mean the item itself has to be simple. I could be like, I want it to do A, B, C, and D, and all those things, and when D happens, I want it to trigger B. And he could be like, on one hand, that's incredibly complicated code, here's what it costs. Or he'd be like, all those things happen to be super simple, and I finished it in 5 minutes, here you go. Because that can happen. Oh man, these pathways are narrow. We are almost out of time for the live stream. I was kind of hoping to finish up these paths, but I got really distracted by playing with those banners. Since most of this gets knocked out, I just kind of want to get a few path blocks in. Yeah, that's good. Then we'll drop. How do we want to do this? Do we want to... Maybe. Let's do this. Let's actually do this. This going up a bit is neat, but look how awkward this is. I either would have to ignore going up and come around and stay on this, or I'd have to put a block, a slab, all the way around this thing. I don't like either of those options, so we're gonna shave. Shaving my way downtown, trimming the grass. I am a polar bear. That's a little better. That's a bit more manageable. Alright, then we don't have to do any elevation changes. Just want to keep an eye on where I'm knocking things out at. I want to make sure we retain the shape we've made ourselves. It's important to me. Dang it. Dang it. Keep knocking out my... No! Well, that one can come out. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of this live stream for today. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, be sure to check it out live. There are some things I would love to discuss with you live, like getting your immediate feedback on things you want to learn about the map. Basically, I just get to speculate on what you may or may not actually be interested in, and try to elaborate on, based on that, solely on that, on what I think you think might be what you want me to talk about regarding the map. But that is something I would love to do. I'd love to do a little bit of Q&A about the map itself, about the temples, about my thought process on how I do build temples, and how I'm thinking about building the future temples. Like all that stuff I think would be fun to really dive into. And I think it'd be, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I think it might also be beneficial for you, the viewers, to have an idea as well about how my mind works with creating these puzzles. Especially if you're going to play the map. It might give you some accidental insight as to maybe how to solve a puzzle, which of course would technically fall under my classification of what I call unintentional behavior. But I don't know, I think it'd be really fun to discuss. But that means I'm going to need you guys over here on the live channel. Plus it'll help that conversation, that quick back and forth with everyone, that would definitely fill in the gaps with the whole me not speaking for certain bits, trying to think up of what I can share and what you guys might still be interested in hearing about. I think I'm going to continue to get the rest of this pathway in on that side, which I believe is just that now, just that's left on that side, and then do the pathway on this side. And then the next episode, the pathways would just be installed. Yeah. Alright, well, my music has stopped again. Struggling to think about anything else that I felt like I needed to say. So I think we're pretty set. So let's do it. Let's call it right there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, participating in the live stream. All one of me watching. That's my favorite. Of course, it'll also be my favorite when other people are here. It'd be my new favorite when we have other people here. But yep, that's gonna be it for today's little live stream, guys. It's this bear is getting a little tired. He needs to eat some breakfast. He wants to go say hi to his little cub and finish up the rest of this stuff. It's easier to do all this work when I don't have to think about what I'm supposed to be talking about, so that's nice too. We'll finish up the paths, and so in the next episode all the paths should hopefully be done. But I don't want to say I won't do any of the bone milling, because I tend to get carried away. I'll try not to do any of the bone milling until we got an episode going. So that'll be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And for my YouTube peeps, leave a like if you liked. Subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends. Hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next one.